Zach here, full-time reseller, and I'm getting ready to head up to several of my favorite thrift stores in Durango, Colorado, which is only about 35 miles away from my house, to do some thrifting. It is the first of the year, and because of that, a lot of people are donating to thrift stores across the country. So if you're into thrifting, or if you want to know when a good time to be out thrifting is, it's right now. So follow along. I'll share with you some of the things I buy. I'll let you know what I sell them for. There's not a whole lot of people in the parking lot, which is a good sign, but I'm hoping that the market up here has been pretty good for returns. It definitely was back home in my local market, so let's see what we can find. All right, as always, gonna start at the jackets, work my way through the more profitable items, and then check out the hard goods towards the end. Came across this LL Bean Henley. It is extra large and tall. It appears to be pretty clean. It is $5.99, which is kind of paying up for it, but I can usually sell these for low 20s. So I'm gonna scoop it up. I found these rock and roll denim thick stitch men's jeans. They do have a longer inseam than the waist, which is always a plus. I'm not crazy about this brand. Certainly not there yet, but I haven't found too much in here today. They're $9. Probably could sell them for 25, maybe 28 bucks. So I might scoop them. So I don't usually buy too many Wrangler jeans, but I have sold some of these 20X thick stitch jeans, and these also have a longer inseam than they do waist. And they're priced up, but I usually can sell these for about 22 to 25 bucks. So I might go ahead and scoop these as well. This is always a travesty when I find a really great brand. These are some Viore men's pants. They are very dirty, and they were priced down, so I started looking them over, and they have a huge stain right on the seat of the pants. They're just really dirty, so I'm just gonna leave these guys. So I found this Fernando Torres soccer jersey, and it's a little beat up, and they got it priced up at $39.99, and so I will probably step away from this guy, but it's pretty cool to check out. I know some of these soccer jerseys are worth a lot of money. I know nothing about soccer. I played American football, but if it was $15 or $20, I might scoop it, because I think it's selling for about 70 bucks, but I'm gonna go ahead and walk on this one. But figured I'd share it with you. Keep an eye out for them soccer jerseys, especially the real famous guys. Just wanted to give my partner in crime, or my business partner, as I always say, a shout out. I'm not gonna pick these up because they're priced up, and beanies just don't sell that well for me. But Love Carhartt always sells for me, and work utility wear, whether it be double knee pants, overalls, coveralls, jackets. Love me some Carhartt. I did find this Outdoor Research men's beanie, and I'm gonna go ahead and scoop it up. I do pretty good on their hats. Any type of headwear from Outdoor Research I seem to sell, whether it's packable or bucket hats or beanies. So scoop it up. So just escaped from the Durango Goodwill, and the damage on the dead presidents was only about $30 and some change, but I only walked out of there with 4 items. None of them were super great, not super bad either, just kind of more bread and butter items. I was really hoping that it was going to be better in there today, but after talking with an employee, they said that yesterday was really crazy, that they put out a lot of merchandise yesterday, and that they just had a lot more traffic come through, especially in the evening. And I'm up here the next day, the next morning, and the racks just seemed kind of barren. Even the shoe racks, which are never empty at that store, were kind of barren. But that's how it goes. It's all good. Yesterday in my own local market, which is never as good as up in Colorado, I was able to source 14 items for $29. So that just goes to show you the ups and downs of reselling. It could be good one day in one place that's never good, and then the opposite the next day at another place. So I always say in these videos to not get too upset about it, that there's always tomorrow. But being on your purpose, always being focused in, and always re-educating yourself to look out for new brands will help you on the days like today where it's kind of skimpy out there. And as I've said in past videos, I typically have a lot of commuting as I go out and source between different areas I live in. And I'm always jamming some kind of YouTube content creator who's a clothing reseller, so I can learn more while I'm on the road. I also do that in the morning when I'm listing clothing. I can actually just log into YouTube from my TV in my living room, and I list clothing out of there. And so I can just constantly be listening to more successful clothing resellers and what they're sourcing, what they're selling, what has slowed down. Always trying to keep ahead of the market is important, especially with clothing and fashion, because trends change, and that is something also you got to stay ahead of. And if you're thinking about getting into selling clothing, another thing to really try to gauge is this is a seasonal market that I'm dealing in. And so right now, I'm gonna start slowing down how much winter clothing I buy in the next month and really start to stockpile shorts and sandals and things like that I can find for a good deal. So you really have to be thinking all the time when you're running your own business. And as small and as simple as my business is, there's a lot to think about. So I'm heading over here now to the Methodist Thrift store. I'm hoping it's definitely better. Donation rates have been crazy at a lot of the thrift stores down in New Mexico in the last few days, but it just didn't seem to be that way at the Goodwill, so I'm hoping for better up here. I hope that you're enjoying what you're seeing. I want to thank all the new people that have subscribed and are tuning in. I appreciate you watching. If you like this video thus far, please hit like. I'd appreciate it. It stimulates that algorithm, and I'm just trying to grow my following because I love to give back and share with people the tribulations of reselling, but also the fun and the success that can be had in it, and how much freedom it gives you for your own personal life. So I'm gonna quit gabbing on the microphone, gonna get down the road, and I'll refilm here in just a few minutes. I'm getting ready to mob into Methodist Thrift. For all of you that watch, this is one of my favorite thrift stores. It's very small, but the clothing prices are on point. The ladies are sweet as could be. Let's see what we can find. Alright, so far not so good. Haven't found too much inside of the Methodist Thrift store this morning. These bulletproof denim men's jeans, they are a funky purple, but this is a good brand. They're only $5. They seem to be clean, and the inseam is longer than the waist, which I like, so I'm gonna grab. Cool thing about reselling, thrifting for a living, is you come across some weird stuff, and my neighbors had this vacuum when I was a kid. Throwback. So came across these Adriano Goldschmidt, the Graduate Series black jeans. They are not in terrible shape. The bottom leg on the back pant has, on the back pant leg has a little distress, but they're only $4. Yeah, pretty good sell-through rate. A little bit faded. This is just kind of cool. I wanted to share it with you. Not going to buy it, but this is a Grateful Dead and Kelty Outdoor Products collaboration. It's pretty vintage too, but I looked it up and it's not worth a grab. So a couple pair of decent pants. I won't complain about that. I was hoping for a little bit more in there. Thrifting up here has just not been as good, but like I said, it could be great tomorrow. Hard to gauge it just based off of one morning, but I'm going to race down to the next thrift store down the road. It's the one that's kind of pricey. Might as well check it out. I'm up here. What the heck? So as I'm commuting about 10 minutes down the road here to my next stop, I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic that I'm gonna find a few good things for some good prices. I'm trying to say that I'm hoping to find a good deal, but unfortunately this thrift store, which used to be one of my favorites and one of the cheapest, has become the most expensive for me with my reselling game and my trips up here. And a lot of that, as I've said in past videos, is due to new management, and because there is a handful of other thrift stores here in Durango that kind of operate off the boutique premise where basically they're charging a shitload for used items. This next thrift store seems to be following suit, and it's really sad to me because they've taken a really cute, cool store that was really popular and kind of famous up here, and they've just went in and destroyed the inside of it. They're trying to sell more furniture and big stuff, and I get that. They probably make a lot more money off stuff like that, but it's just kind of really ruined the vibe of this store. And I've talked to several different people that are resellers, but also people that are antique collectors and such as that, regulars to the thrift store circuit up here. And not one of them has told me that they've seen anything good come from the change in management at the La Plata County Humane Society thrift store. And so I'm calling them out by name because, darn it, I miss getting some good deals. So the point I'm making here is this: you always got to be staking out new territory. You got to be looking for new places to source goods. As I've grown my business, and I have said this in the past videos, I've just realized to get to the point I want to be at financially, I'm gonna have to travel. It's hard to source in smaller communities, and because of that, I've just decided that once a month, twice a month, I'm gonna have to outsource outward away from home. So always keep that in your thought process when you're reselling. If things start to dry out or things aren't going good for you, you're really having a hard time finding anything, maybe you ought to cut your losses and start going and looking elsewhere, even if that means having to invest in some driving and some traveling. So this place looks packed. I'm gonna race in here. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time. I'd like to make one more stop in New Mexico by my local thrift store, but right now I'm just waiting for traffic to subside so I can park, and I'll shoot some footage as I'm inside. All right, I'm pacing through the cheap aisle or the cheap rack here at the Humane Society thrift store, and I am having no luck whatsoever. Behold, it's the most expensive used jacket rack in all of Colorado. Leaf Faded Glory is a Walmart brand. These are beat up and dirty. $12. I think I can go to Walmart and buy a new pair that are nicer than those for not much more. Unfortunately, wasn't able to find anything inside of the Humane Society thrift store here in Durango, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut my losses. Gonna get down the road. I got a 35-40 minute drive back to New Mexico. All in all, I came away with 6 different items today. I got 4 pair of jeans, 1 shirt, and then 1 beanie. 2 of the pair of jeans are thick stitch boot cut Western jeans, and those will only sell for, like I said, probably low 20s, mid 20s maybe. But then the other 2 pairs of jeans are more designer, and I should be able to get upper 20s to maybe even low 30s on them. And then the LL Bean shirt I picked is just kind of a bread and butter pickup for me. It's kind of mid to low 20s, depending on condition, size, and color. And this guy's not in bad shape. And then the Outdoor Research beanie, there's not a whole lot of money to be made in that, but I just love sourcing Gorp. I love Outdoor Research, and like I said earlier in the video, I do really good on Outdoor Research hats, headwear, anything like that. I've just always been able to sell it. And so my hope for this haul, after spending about $43 and some change, is that I can turn it into possibly around $115 to $135 return after I sell all these goods. Now keep in mind, I'm gonna have to store these goods. A couple of them I'm gonna have to clean. Several of them I'm just gonna have to give the love of a lint roller, and then I'm gonna have to wait a while. And so this is all the game I play, but the idea behind what I do as a reseller is I'm investing my money short term on items that I hope will sell hopefully within a 3-month period. And if I can get that out of the investment, I'm happy, and I usually can make pretty decent money. So thanks for following. As I always say, if you see me walk past something that was good and I just completely was oblivious to it, give me a hard time in the comments.